Everybody, it's Mimi with Stampin' with the Grandma Giggles. Today's video is going to be on some tips and tricks, I guess, about what to do with your Stampin' pads. Something that I didn't know, there's a lot that I didn't know, but I wanted to kind of let you guys know what I have learned so that you can kind of learn it for yourself, okay? So the first is how do you open these pads? When you first get them, they're just real stiff, right? So there's two ways. So you can pull it open like this. There's a little indentation there, and do this, okay? Or you can do both thumbs at the top. Now if I can get it done right. Okay, this one's more sticky. That one's a little more sticky than I wanted. Okay, like that. I'm gonna have to do one of these other tips I'm gonna show you. So like this, okay? Now, these are all the ones that I haven't done with one of these tips that I'm going to show you. And what that is when they're sticky like this, what you can do is take any old chapstick. Okay, let's take the top off of this. Take any old chapstick and rub it along the lines here, you guys. See how easy that is? And then just do it on both sides. And then you're going to want to kind of send it back and forth a few times. And before you know it, it's going to be much better. Okay? So that's one of those tips that I learned along the way that I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I love that. Okay, now the other thing, there's a couple of things we're going to share here. I've seen a lot of people storing their inks like this. This is going to make all your ink run down to this bottom side here when you do that. If your inks are like this right now, make sure you flip them like on the bottom like this, okay? Because what this does, when you hold them like this, it keeps your ink in the whole pad, okay, versus having it flipped to one side or the other, or down or whatever. So you want to keep your Stampin' pads flat, because this is going to be the best way to keep your ink in the whole pad. Okay. All right. Now, if by chance you do have them like this, or let's say you have used the middle part so much that it's kind of dry in that middle part, and you have stuff on the outside, there's two things you can do. One, you can use a re-inker. StampinUp sells these re-inkers for every single color. Now I will tell you, I do not buy re-inkers for every color we have. I do buy the re-inkers for the ones I use the most. This is Early Espresso, and I use this one a lot. So this one is going to be used so much that I definitely have re-inkers for this. And like I said, the most favorites that you use, those are the ones you want to buy re-inkers for, because then you don't have to buy the whole pad all over again. And these are really inexpensive, the re-inkers. So, I mean, if you want to buy a whole new pad, that's fine too. But you'll save yourself lots of money if you're like me and you use a lot of colors. Rather than buying all the pads all over again, you can just buy the re-inkers. So, back to the tip. Okay, so if you've stored your ink pad like this, or if you've used it a lot in the middle, you simply take any kind of a gift card or whatever. This is my business, Sam's business card, but and then you just squish it over like this, or pull it over like this, and you bring all the ink to the middle, or to wherever. Like if you stored them on their side, you want it everywhere, right? So you're gonna you're going to redo this so that it's nice and even again. And then, if it's a card that you want to save, grab your handy dandy little wipes and just wipe your ink off of your card just like that. It's super easy. Okay, so again, just take your card and do it all different ways until you get your ink back where you want it. All right. Okay, another, oh goodness, now this is sticky. Okay, so another tip, and I was in the middle of doing this. This is what made me decide to do a video in the first place. When I get new stamp pads in, you can see I have the packaging on this, and I'll take it off, but you can see there's no color mark on any of the side other than on top. Well, if you're storing them the right way, like this, then you want to be able to see what colors they are when they're in their storage spaces, right? So Stampin' Up! Has this really cool thing that, let me do this real quick. I wanted to make sure that you guys know, can you see these little dots right here? And how on the bottom they stick out? They're indented on the top. That's so that if you don't have the storage bins from Stampin' Up! I do not have those because I have a beautiful wood case that I keep all my stamps in. Anyway, it keeps them from moving. You know, it doesn't, they're pretty sturdy. And you'll have to forgive me. This is a uneven table right here that I'm working with right now. Okay, so back to how do we tell what this is? Okay, so Stampin' Up! Came up with this really creative way to make sure that we could have our colors on the end. So look at this on the back. You see this? It says Old Olive, Vert Olive. It goes into different languages. And then there's a blank one. You see where this little arrow is? You pull it up. And you pick out the one you want. Of course, I'm going to do English because that's what I speak. Although sometimes I think I might be called gibberish. And then I do it this way. You could probably do it this way on this side if you want to store, but I always put it at the bottom here because that's how I store my inks, with the bottom facing me. And you stick it right there, just like that. Okay? Now, if you're like me, you have a gazillion inks open at the same time. Now, how do you tell what color that is? Because I don't know if that's a brown, a blue, a purple, a red. Well, okay, I know reds are different, but, you know, anyway, so how do you tell when you have a bunch of them open so you don't make a mistake, right? So this little blank one that I was telling you about right here on the back, you pull it up and you pull this out. Just like, whoops. Let's try that again. Okay, so there's that. Open this up, and you see this little spot right here? Look how easy this is, you guys. Except that my hands are shaky, and so it's probably going to be a lot easier for you guys. And then you just push it in there, and look. So now you know what color you have out. Isn't that great? So Stampin' Up! Really has made sure that we have all the you know, there's the little intricacies and such. On the re-inkers, this is a Whisper White one. On the re-inkers, what I forgot to tell you is when you put your ink in your pad, you're going to put it in the middle, and then you're going to use your little card, and you're going to scrape it around all over the place, and you'll put a little bit more in the middle, and then kind of scrape, just kind of move it around with your card right in the middle. And then what I do is I go all four sides, and I go side to side, completely side to side, edge to edge, and I make sure it's nice and even. And so that's another little tip for the re-inkers. You don't have to put these all in one spot and then do just that spot where you do your stamping. So which is something, honestly, it's super, you'd think it's a really easy concept, but it didn't even occur to me to do that. So this is something I also learned. Okay, so you know how to use your pieces on the back. These are ones that I still have to do over here, but you know how to make sure these all go on the inside and on the outside here. And like I said, you can put them on whatever side you want, so long as these are stored flat. So you can put them wherever you want. I just happen to store mine just like this, and so I want to be able to see right here. Okay. How many of you knew Celestial Seasonings put lip balm in their Christmas stuff? I didn't, but this one smells really good. So just use this on the sides. And if you don't feel like it's enough the first time around, use more. It's not a big deal. Eventually they'll, when you've used them so much, they'll become nice and smooth for you. So they're not quite so easy to use. I mean, so they're much easier to use. Silly Mimi, she's going all kinds of crazy today. All right, let's see if I remembered everything on my list here. I had to have a list because sometimes I forget what I want to say. Okay, yes. Okay, so those are all your tips. And I'm going to get back to finishing up my ink pads that I have got in the mail from, well, actually, technically I got them from UPS because they're like amazing. But I'm going to get back to them, and I want you guys to tell me if you have any other tips or tricks or anything like that. Post it down in the comments. And you guys, please subscribe to my channel. I love doing this, and we have a contest for when we hit 1,000 people. Somebody's going to get a big basket of goodies, and it's a minimum of $200 gift basket. Okay, so if you want some fun little goodies, stuff that came from a couple of different on stage, which is like our conference, Stampin' Up conference, and some other stuff in the annual catalog, click your subscribe button, hit that bell so you can see whenever I post something else. And don't forget to leave comments because I love reading your comments and I will happily respond. Bye.